Okay, I want you to turn into your equation book to the section where you have one-step equation on the left side and on the right side, two-step equation. Now we're going to fill in the two-step equation part. The rules for a two-step equation are very similar to that of a one-step equation. Let's do a little comparison as we read through them. Rule number 1 in a one-step equation is isolate king variable using inverse operations. In a two-step equation, it's the very same rule. Isolate king variable using inverse operations, except in a two-step equation, you will start with addition and subtraction first. Rule number 2 in a one-step equation says do unto one side what you do to the other. Rule number 2 is the very same in a two-step equation. Do unto one side as you would do to the other, or do the same to the other side. Okay, rule number 3 in a two-step equation. There is no rule number 3 in a one-step equation, so this is where I'm going to close this side up, and we're going to pay attention over here. Rule number 3 is isolate king variable using inverse operations. This time, use multiplication and division. And then the last rule is to do the same to the other side. Okay, after you get those rules written down, go ahead and copy down the example at the bottom. The example says 17 equals 5k minus 2. Now I'm going to use these two-step equation rules up above to help me to solve this equation at the bottom. So let's go ahead and start with rule number 1. Isolate king variable using inverse operations. Start with addition and subtraction. Well, first I have to find where is king variable. I'm going to box in the right side of my equation and the left side of my equation. There's king variable. He's on the right side. So I'm going to begin on the right side and I'm going to isolate king variable using addition and subtraction first. Well, I'm going to go ahead and switch this. So I have a negative 2. How do I cancel out a negative 2? By adding 2. So I'm going to add 2 to the right side, and that's going to cancel out. And now I'm going to do rule number 2, which is do the same to the other side. And I'm going to add 2 to the other side. Now I have 19 on my left, and I still have 5k on my right. Okay, now rule number 3 says isolate king variable using inverse operations. This time use multiplication and division. Okay, so where's king variable again? King variable's on the right side. So I'm going to isolate him. This is multiplication. The inverse is division. So I'm going to divide by 5, and that cancels out. I'm going to divide this side by 5, and I get k equals 19 divided by 5 is 3, and I will have 4 left over out of 5. So 3 4/5. So k equals 3 4/5 would be my answer. And it is okay that I have a mixed number here. Okay, so let's take a look at some boards and some examples on our boards.